Things continue at the castle. Charlotte takes a look at Haruto's live surveillance footage and sees that there is a suspicious person in the middle of the forest, so she reports it to her elder brother. And Haruto sees that these people look like they are burglars. Haruto explains to us that his sister Charlotte has recently become quite obsessed with patrolling their property because she thinks Haruto is busy doing other things. Flay barges inside the room, asking Haruto if he is Haruto since she has heard from the little girl Charlotte that he has been fighting the wrong doors alone recently. Flay proposes to assist him in his heroic work from now on, and again requests that he take her with him. Charlotte also thinks that it would be a good idea for Flay to join Haruto, but he thinks she will be only a nuisance to an overpowered hero like him. So he tries to turn it around on Flay and asks her if she is not busy herself. He tells her that she should do what the castle lord has tasked her with, but Flay explains that she has done today's work of cleaning the entire courtyard, and reveals that she has also successfully suppressed the demons around this area. So Haruto wonders what excuses he should now make so that he doesn't have to take Flay with him. Charlotte gets excited to hear the Flay will be fighting bandits, and begins to imagine her as a hero too. Charlotte tells them that she has heard various stories about heroes having partners or psychics to rescue them whenever they are in crisis, so she also wants Flay to be the partner of Haruto, the hero of justice. Flay couldn't agree more and claims that even though she is far less powerful than Haruto, she can help him a little with both Flay and Charlotte requesting Haruto. He is left with no other option but to accept Flay as psychics. He takes Flay away to have a private talk and tells her that the only reason he is not taking her with him is because she gets too rough with her opponents, which is not very child-friendly. So he asks Flay to be less aggressive in battle. Because he cannot let Charlotte see any bloody scenes, Flay understands, and so they begin their journey to find the 4 burglars. Meanwhile, the 4 burglars are discussing how they won't be starving for a few days, as they have harvested quite a good amount of fortune. Zero aka Lelich aka Haruto makes his heroic entry, telling the burglars that he is the dark warrior of this world, and then wishes to eliminate the darkness. As the burglars begin to wonder who this clown is, another clown appears behind them, calling herself the Red Warrior, but it's actually just Flay and Haruto. Flay decides to immediately end this an incantation, her fire magic, to use it against the burglars and burn them all. But Haruto stops her just in time, reminding her that he cannot let Charlotte see any gore. But Flea proceeds to burn the burglars anyway. So Haruto puts a barrier on the foul burglars so that Flay's attacks don't hit them any longer. Flay wonders why her attacks are getting blocked in midair, but she doesn't comprehend that her master is behind this. So she uses more powerful fire magic to tear down the shield that the burglars are using. But before she can do that, Haruto immediately smacks her head with a punch and again reminds her that the scene cannot be violent. Still, Flay doesn't understand what Haruto is saying and proceeds to burn the burglars with her magic. Haruto can't stand this idiot beside him anymore, so he tells Flay to go home right now. Flay thinks that Haruto desires to beat the burglars himself, so she decides to stand behind him instead of going back to the castle. After dealing with the burglars, Haruto returns home and falls flat on his bed to take a rest. He can't believe that his mate is so dumb and decides to go to sleep, but Charlotte doesn't let him have a single moment of peace and comes to his room to tell him how good he and Flay were looking when they fought the bad guys. Charlotte tells them that she wants to see both of them fight again, even though it just ended. And Flay promises to put on a good show for her next time, but Haruto decides that he will never take Flay with him again, as she might destroy his entire reputation as Charlotte's elder brother. In the meantime, Charlotte teaches Flay's signature move to use on the bad guys and gives her thorough instructions on how to use it. Haruto can't take this stupidity anymore, so he wonders when he will be able to live a peaceful life. On the other side, the Crown Prince Laos punches his pillow as he cannot take the humiliation of getting beaten by Haruto. He questions why things went south like this, as he is supposed to be the next king who inherits the bloodline of the Shining Princes. So he only wanted to make Haruto's family realize how high and mighty he is, and that is why he tried to pick a fight with Haruto. But things went south, so Laos again wonders how a level 2 mages like Haruto is so powerful. The minister calls Laos for dinner, and although he doesn't want to go, he puts his clothes on and heads to the hall. The minister then advises Laos to invite Charlotte to tomorrow's convention, as he will need someone to talk with on the road. But Laos expresses that he doesn't need to talk with other people. So the minister makes it clear that it's His Majesty's direct orders, so Laos has no other option but to do so. It's also time for dinner at Gold's Castle, and Charlotte calls her big brother Haruto for dinner. She apologizes for not knocking, but Haruto is already used to it, so he quietly heads to the dining hall. Haruto sees how luxurious the dishes look, while his clone laments how Haruto is making him work tirelessly all day. The clone gets depressed because he feels that there is no use left for him and jumps on the bed to sulk alone. Haruto moves on thinking it's normal, and keeps eating his meal. Charlotte mentions to him that she will participate in tomorrow's inspection as she reveals that she just got an invitation personally from the prince to go there. Haruto can't let the stupid prince lurk around his little sister, so he decides to go to the inspection as well. At night he wonders what he should do and how he should prepare himself for tomorrow. He first investigates the travel route to the inspection to see if there are any unwanted traps in the road. That's when he sees a large group of evil mages using a summoning circle, and it's clear to Haruto that these mages are up to no good. Haruto decides to personally go and see what these mages trying to summon. So he immediately heads their disguise as the Dark Warrior, asking one of the mages what they are doing here. The other mage immediately gets hostile, seeing an imposter among them. So they decide to kill Haruto. But Haruto kills them instead with one blow of his overwhelming magic, and shows them their place. One of the mages who survived the attack sacrifices himself to complete the evil summoning circle, and summons dozens of undead soldiers out of it. But Haruto doesn't get scared, and instead he begins slashing them one after another using his sword. The skeletons try surrounding Haruto, but it's no use as he is the strongest, seeing that this strategy is not working. The evil mages summon a giant rock golem to attack Haruto, but he finds the golem's weak spot, attacks its spirit core, and rewrites the spell to turn all of the skeleton and the golem on his side. Then Haruto captures everyone and asks the leader of the group why they were doing this, but the leader remains silent, so Haruto decides to bury all of them alive if they are unwilling to tell him the truth. As the member of this mages group begin to beg for their lives, their leader finally opens up his mouth and reveals that they are the summoner unit directly working under the Elder Princess, and were planning to cause an incursion on the upcoming inspection tomorrow. Haruto asks why they would do something like that, and the leader reveals that their purpose is to assassinate Charlotte Zenfis. Haruto wonders why the Elder Princess plans to assassinate Charlotte and realizes that she must have considered her a threat, since Charlotte possesses the potential to surpass even the royal Elder Princess. The Haruto finally realizes why the Imperial soldiers attacked his father as well as his mother and Charlotte. It's because the Empress is willing to sacrifice everything for her position, and considering that Haruto's family is a potential threat, she doesn't want Haruto's family to live. Haruto vents his anger on the leader first, but he realizes that there is no point in going research and that he should take things slowly. The next day both Haruto and Charlotte head to the inspection with the prince and princess, and Charlotte mentions how Laos lost against Haruto the other day. Haruto tries to ease the unnecessary tension caused by Charlotte, but that infuriates Laos even more. Laos calms down and mentions how Haruto didn't use any elemental magic in their duel. He wonders if Haruto is the demon reincarnation, as there is no explanation for how Haruto's magic works otherwise. Haruto doesn't understand what Laos means and turns to Charlotte, asking her what demon reincarnation is. Charlotte explains that if a demon and a human get married, they give birth to an offspring who has a very low chance of displaying demonic traits and looks like a human even though they have demonic powers. Marianne accepts Charlotte's explanation and adds that the demi-demons have extraordinary athletic and powerful magic powers. But seeing that Haruto neither has horns nor his eyes and ears look any different, Marianne doesn't think Haruto is half demon. Charlotte thinks that she should also take part in describing Haruto's attributes and adds that Haruto's body feels very smooth and delicate. She proudly reveals that she showers with him a lot and hence knows how his body. This hearing that Laos and Marianne get weirded out and call Haruto shameless and a degenerate for showering with his own sister. Haruto tries to explain, but knowing that there's no point in doing so, he remains silent. Charlotte wonders what's wrong and asks Laos if she is not supposed to take a shower with her brother. Marianne tries to tell her that there is a deeper meaning to men and women showing each other their skin. But before she can say anything else, her brain gets overloaded with emotions. Thankfully, this conversation ends as the carriage reaches its destination. After coming out of the carriage, the group sees a large golden wheat field and is amazed by its beauty. Charlotte immediately runs inside the field to have fun, so Marianne follows her too while they are enjoying themselves. Haruto goes to talk with his father in private and reveals to him that the elder princess wants to assassinate Charlotte. Gold explains that he already knows of this, as the Dark Warrior sent him a message yesterday about the evil group of mages plotting against Charlotte. Gold doesn't know what to do in such a situation, so Haruto tells him that they should just get rid of the elder princess. But Gold tells him not to think that way, as the country currently needs the elder princess to keep the ill king's position safe. In other words, if the elder princess were to die, it would lead to civil strife in the country. Gold tells Haruto about the story of 12 years ago when the king led a crusade force and one of the members, Giselot Ordeus, single-handedly took the head of the demon king. Because of that, the king married her, and now she, becoming the elder princess, wants the kingdom for herself because of her greed. But Gold thinks that everything will turn around once someone stronger than the queen stands up against her. In that case, Haruto asks Gold to be the next king, but he explains that he is neither good at politics nor at controlling the country. But Gold thinks that Charlotte will be better than him, in hopes that maybe one day she will be able to lead the country. So, to do so, Gold tells Haruto to protect his sister until she becomes queen. That brings the episode to an end.